Hi, this is Evelyn of the Modern Needle, and this is video number 2 in my Colorwork knitting series. Sorry, Colorwork mitten knitting series. And today we want to talk about the decrease at the top and the picking up of the thumbs. So yesterday we had talked about the cast on and the braid. I knitted the mitten right up to this point. And what I want to show you is that most Colorwork mittens, they have this little bit on the sides of where there is a solid color on the side. Each stitch on the side, and then there's the stitch flanks a color sequence, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. They look like little hearts, and they usually mark the halfway bit from the hands. And the decrease starts by pulling these by pulling these outside stitches and decreasing them. So I want to show you how to do that without any holes so that it's neat and tidy, because it is right on the side of the hand. You don't want to get any holes in there or whatnot. So let's have a look. What I did is, and I also, before I get into that, I want to show you how to fix any colorwork mistakes in here. You don't, unless it's like really crazy, you don't really need to pull it apart. So I made a mock little shaft on interchangeable needles. And the reason why I did that is that you can't really see with the DPNs like being in the way. And so I switched to magic loop for this, and I mimicked the side of the these beautiful little hair elastics that are very neon-y. They denote this little bit here so that I don't confuse my color work on here. Let me see, get my hand in here and see. So it's the dark outside, and then the light color, etc., all the way to the top, and then the darker line on the outside. I used Briggs and Little, which is Tuffy. It's a Canadian yarn. It's a Canadian boot yarn, actually. It has a little bit of nylon in it, and since I developed the boot sock in 15 sizes from small to a men's 16, which is a European 47, I believe. And cuff down or toe up, I had lots of this yarn, and I thought they don't have a ton of colors, but it is a Canadian yarn, which I really like. So I wanted to see how easy does this color actually dye, and it takes the dye very beautiful. I made this movie with the blues, and it's just gorgeous. The blues and the reds. It's I fall in love with these colors every time I look at it. I dyed a beautiful orangey as well. So anyways, I have a smaller needle in my stitch holder needle. I'm right-handed, so my right hand knits. The stitches go on here. They determine gauge. This here is just a stitch holder and keeps my tension pretty awesome. There's lots of room to get easy into the stitches. I don't get hand fatigued at all. So let's first show you where I made the mistake on purpose, and then I will show you how to fix this. Let me see. This is light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. So it's not that side. I made the mistake then here. Oh yeah, I doubled 2 purples. In the middle here, you can see that I doubled 2 purples. Now, since the rest goes in sequence, As usual, you always have a choice. You can either leave this, just fluff up that stitch a bit better. You can leave this and leave the two purples, or you can fix it. It's your mitten. You do whatever you think you want to. Lots of people tell you just leave it. It's a design element or whatever. My thought is always, if I look at that stitch and I think I could have fixed it relatively easy, and I look at that garment and wish every single time that I would have fixed it, I will go ahead and fix it, because the reality is these things are going to hang around for a long time. And if every time I look at it I think, oh man, then that's obviously I should have fixed it. And this is a very easy fix, so I will fix this. And just for the purpose of showing you how to fix it, I put it in there on purpose. So anyway, I do many mistakes that don't happen on purpose, but this one here I kind of did. So I'm pulling the cords out of the way so that I can show you. So the way that a stitch goes is it forms over the needle. It has a bar. Then there is the next stitch on the needle with a bar, and they connect. They go into the stitch and out of the stitch like a little wiggly worm. And normally you only ever have one bar in the back because you're knitting with one color, but we are knitting with two colors. So I'm gonna take this out of the way here for a minute. We're knitting with two colors, so our bars in the back, I'm gonna have two bars in the back, and I'm gonna instead of blowing it out, I'm gonna put it a bit further away from my hand so that you can see. Sorry for the cable up to the camera, so but I do want you to be able to see what's going on here. So this is the stitch that was knitted, and this is the bar that goes along. I know this because they go from the right stitch right to the left stitch. If I pull this one out, this is the stitch that went along, and the purple is longer because it's knitted. So I'm gonna go down and pull these out until I get to this purple down here. I purposely knitted on quite a bit so that you can see. If you have an extra needle to help you along, it's pretty good. I usually have DPNs around me all the time because I use them for cable needles, for stitch holders, etc. I use them for picking up a stitch, or like here, to knit it back. Okay, so now I'm at the two purple stitches. This one here is my purple that's stacked on top of a purple, so I need to go back one more. Okay, I want to make sure that my legs are correct, nice and open, not twisted. And you can see, yes, right leg and left leg, and it is open. And now I'll turn my work sideways so I can actually feel this, and my finger is in there to help me along. So this is my stitch, and my stitch was knitted in purple, and the white is right there. That's the white that goes along. So this here is the next row. It's these two stitches here. These two go together, one above the other, and I can see that's my next stitch in the, if I think this is a ladder, this is my next line up in the ladder. You can see there is a big break here. It might be confusing, but on this side here you can see really easy that it's these ones are the next two. Actually, let me have a look. If in doubt, count it from the top. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and where is that second one? I might have to bring it down one more to find it. Sorry, it's getting tangled over here. Here it is. Okay. So sometimes it takes a minute to find it. So I had to go from the top to count down and find them. And it was buried under here, but I just forced my finger along it. So when I turn it sideways, I can see it easy. So I'm going to take the white on top of the needle and I'll pop this over. There we go. I can take another needle here so that you can see it easier. And that's how I would do it anyways. So my next pair is these two. Even though you can see it wants to tangle with the one in the top. This here is my next. This here is my next pair. This is my next pair. So I want the purple guy. Lay it on. And pop it over. Sorry. On here, get in and pop it over. Okay. That's the white one that went with that. So this one here is my next one, white. This is the next one, it's a purple. And I don't worry about if one of the stitches here is a bit longer. When I pull everything apart in a minute, when I'm finished, I can fix that. Here is the white. Now, if you have a crochet hook and you're not afraid of the crochet hooks, I had one here. That makes it a bit easier as well. So this was the white. This is the purple. So my next one here is this purple. And this white runs in the background. My next white is this one here. Sorry. I'll bring it back up. So they kind of look like it, this here could be my white, but you can see it's coming from the bottom there. So get rid of this guy. It's just confusing. It's this one. It's this one here. So grab that white. The purple is the background and the purple here. So now I can pop this back on. You can see with the wool it's kind of nice. And the stitch is open. So now I'm gonna pull this a little bit. Okay, so let's see how does it look. The stitches look a little bit mushed. Okay, here's my white. Here's my purple, that's fine. If it looks a little bit big, you can make it a bit smaller by giving the adjoining stitch a little bit of that, of what you think is too much. Here is the white looks okay. We can pull it up just a little bit. You can put your needle under this stitch and just elongate it a little bit and see if that helps. Most of the time, that's all you really have to do. So here they are. So here's my column and it looks beautiful. It looks clean and it didn't really take a long time. And I fixed it. This is how you can ladder down and fix any mistake that you make, which is fine. And then once this is blocked, which means you submerge it into water and the yarn blooms or puffs up, it'll actually disguise this 100%. That'll be gone. So let's get to the decreases. And the decreases, they kind of look a little bit funny when you look at the instructions. Sorry about the light here. This is how a decrease typically looks. So these stitches are the ones we're going to get rid of, going from here, just going to cover that up a little bit, of where you have continuous stitches to where you decrease. So this gray area just means that that stitch is gone. This one here in the middle, that's your little hearts walking up the sides, and that's still here on that side before it goes over to the mitt on this side. Okay, so don't get discouraged by this. Just pretend that this stitch here, this column, is laying over this way for printing purposes, or even for the computer. We don't have these wonky lines that seem to go like that. It is easier to show them like this. Many shawl copies are like that too, or when you do the socks, it kind of looks like that a little bit. And I don't know if you can see this. This here, if you learn how to read your knitting, a line going this way, like this white one, means that your decrease is leaning to the left. This line means it's leaning to the right. And very often I find that when you do socks, the decrease, they always lean inside the bigger part. So the sock decrease, sorry about that light, will lean into the heel, or the arm increase will lean into the sleeve. So if you think about that, it's kind of easier to see. Here, I have it on my smaller phone, so just give me 1 second. And so this here, for example, is kind of the thumb, and it is the same concept on there. So you're leaning into the thumb, into the main work. It's very seldom that you lean outside of your work. You always lean inside of it. So let's see, how do we make this decrease pretty? So oh, I'll bring this back here for a second. Just 1 second here. This is on Knit Companion. Oops, come on, back up. So my first stitch, this column here is the little hearts running on the side. So for me, this is white. I don't know where I am in this column here of things. And I want to show you, when I popped that stitch on, I popped it on backwards because I was going to go in and knit it like this, but I would have crossed the stitch. So I have to go in this way to have a nice straight open stitch. So this here is my little column of hearts that's coming up. And this stitch here is my decrease leaning to the left. So if I were to just lean it to the left and do this and bring it up, because that's the column that stays the same color all the time, and I just knitted it through the back loop, you can see the way that it knitted together is that you can see the white through it. Right here, you can see the white through it, and I actually twist it here. You can see the white through it, and I actually twisted the stitch here in the bottom. The leg that should be here is here. It's not open. Let me see if I can. If I would have done it this way, that's an open stitch. So I'll go back and pick them back up. So what I want to do, not this one here, that was just the white. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to take this stitch and turn it so that the open legs, that it's open this way. Now it'll lay on top of this different. I can knit this with a purple. I want the purple coming from the top. Come on. I knit it from the purple. The leg is open and it sits this way. Now I am gonna, because we fixed that in the back, I'm gonna pull on this white thread here a little bit to make that stitch just a bit smaller so that you can see. What's this guy here? Okay, so now you can see a bit of the white, but not a lot. And once this is actually knit together, all you will see is this white line, and it'll look like a white stitch sitting beside it. The stitch itself will be pushed together, and there is no white peeking through this stitch here. Now what I normally do is, as soon as I have a stitch where I knit two together, it doesn't matter through the front or back or whatever, I just rock my needle, keeping tension on here. I rock my needle that it snugs right up, and then I can relax it. Okay, so now we're just going to go right back on in pattern, getting to, sorry, use the purple. Right, purple, white, sorry. You can hear my son walking upstairs. Sorry about that. Creaky older houses. So this one here is the last of the column. And this one has to lean this way. So that's just a straightforward knit two together, regular way. The legs will be formed properly and they will lay properly on top of one another. So here I don't need to do anything. You can see that that's a really perfect decrease. I rock my stitches, and that is a good one. We'll turn it around. I'll knit the middle one the way that it needs to be. So we'll knit this one here in white as it normally goes. And now this one here is the one that leans to the left into the mitt. So I'll get rid of this. I'll turn the stitch so that when I look at it this way, the legs are turned correctly. The right leg is mounted correctly. So if I go in through the back, it's like a slip stitch, but I don't need to touch that stitch, the white one. So it's like a slip the first one and knit those two together, or twist the first one and then knit them together through the back loop. So you can see that the orientation of the legs is still correct. I'm rocking my needle and I can move on. And it becomes quite intrinsic, whether you do a heel decrease, a hat decrease, a mitten decrease, or whatever decrease that you want. Now we're at the last one. Again, this here is the column. I don't need the markers anymore. And I'll just knit them together. The legs will be oriented correctly. And if you see it on this side here, I'll kind of pull it tight. Normally you pull the first stitch right beside it tight, but in this instant, because you're doing the decrease, you just want to clean that up. So the leg is mounted correctly, if you can see that. The right side, left leg, right leg, and they are open. It looks like a very clean decrease, and the same here. And it is especially important because you're stacking these decreases on top of one another. So I'll do one more on each side, and then we can finish off the top of the mitten, and I'll make an extra video actually for picking up the thumb stitches. So this here would be a purple, and here again I'm turning this stitch so that the stitch opens up, and I go through it through the back loop. Oh, I want to knit that in purple. Rock my needle to snug it up and keep on going. This is the end of this needle here. I'm going to do knit 2 together. Just regular knit 2 together because the legs are mounted correct. I just need the white. Rock it. And again, look at it. And I'll do the back, and then I'll show you actually how beautiful they stack on top of one another. And then I'll show you how to cinch the top. So this here is the one in the middle, the little hearts, if you will. Sorry. This is the little hearts. I'll turn this stitch here, and it'll have to be a purple one again because this is the column that always stays purple. It'll frame your mitten. There we go. We rock the needle. Now you can see actually the benefit of having the smaller needle here in the right, because I have no issues going in and grabbing both stitches here for the decrease. So let's have a look. Okay. So the decrease looks like this, and there are no holes. If you were to put your hands in there, because we rock the needle, there are absolutely no holes. It's quite beautiful. You can see it going across here. The white is not peeking through it at all, through this line here or here. It's quite beautiful. So now we're at the end of this mitten here, and let me see if I had my sewing needle here, and I don't. So we're gonna do it. Oops, I pulled out this stitch here, or this needle here, which again with the wool, like, I don't really panic, they don't go anywhere. And my last stitch, there we go. So what I'm going to do is, because I left my needle over at the table, I'll just pull them through. Well, I can use the crochet hook. I can pull them through the loops or the stitches this way. Now, almost had it. There it is. I usually pull that through 2 times just because I'll get up in a minute and I'll get the needle because it just makes it easier. Okay. So I'll take both threads and I'll push them through here. I usually leave them on the needle for an extra minute here. I don't want to pull it or cinch it closed because I want to go through here one more time. Get the stitches here. And the little one in the back. Okay. This blue thread here is rather long. Come on. Here we go. Okay. And one more time. And now I can pull it and cinch it. And this is how it looks. And the stitches, because we went through 2 times, are really secure. So here I have already cleared them up, and this is how it looks like in the top. It's quite beautiful, really. And again, here you can see the clean transitions on each side. And these mittens are not blocked yet. So these ones I'll pull on a pull noodle to block. Because they seem to be just the right size and they open the stitches up pretty good. So then I just go through here. Okay. And pull the stitches on the inside. And clean them up and trim the ends off. Now the ends I leave a little bit longer until they're completely blocked, and then I'll take it off. Well, here I can put the hand in it so that you can actually see. Here I can just grab it with my fingertips. Hide it in there. Okay, so now you can see there are no holes here. None. Doesn't matter which side. And once they're blocked, they'll be completely evened out and look completely beautiful. I will pull up this little white stitch here with a needle because, or just like this. There we go. It's this guy here. Push them out a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. So one more video for the thumb and then you are done. So I'll say goodbye for right now and we'll talk again in a little bit for the next video.